Okay, I think we better talk for a little while about banishing when you're doing, your little practices, because it's been talked about as being something like in a certain way, as if it's important, as if what you're doing is you're driving negative spirits away or something like that. Uh, is this necessarily the case? Let's just think about like the difference between the lesser rite of pentagram and the circle casting is very different in terms of experience. The goal of the lesser rite of pentagram is when you're at the end of it, bam, your aura is expanded and you've got this feeling of the stars around you like a shield. Your aura feels shielded, and you kind of like feel a bit more mentally clear. That's lesser rite of pentagram. But with circle casting, there is a feeling that you have placed a boundary around the place, and that there is something sort of like more safer inside. And that feeling normally happens once you have finished sealing the circle, once you've done, drawn a line of light around the outside. So these two things, therefore, must be different. They must be used in a way which is different. And the understanding of how the energy will flow or operate or be placed in terms of the theories that people are using would also be different. It has to be by its nature. So the concept within the Wiccan tradition is that the circle is a working space. It feels like that. It feels like a space that's been made special, all right, made sacred for that operation, made, special. But the lesser rite of pentagram is more a question of your aura is bright and strong and shielded. All right. So what particular attitude can you take more with the lesser rite of pentagram as opposed to the circle casting if you were to just use one or the other? Not both, no, not starting with, let's say, the lesser rite of pentagram, cross of light, and the rest of that, and then moving on to the circle casting after that. If it was just lesser rite of pentagram or just circle casting, as these things feel different, and as the energetic changes in yourself are different, they must therefore be used for different things and in different ways, and therefore conceptualized differently. Your circle casting is more to do with the idea that everything you're doing in the circle is part of the intention, all right, and then at the end of the ritual, everything, all of that information then goes out, sort of thing. With the lesser rite of pentagram, very much the same, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it's constrained so much to a particular place. You haven't got your little sanctus lights or candles around the place, kind of like showing where it is. You haven't drawn pentagrams in various different places around the house because you've centered all of the attention on yourself. You are the center and the thing which you are doing the ritual around. So it's a different experience. As the experience of the lesser rite of pentagram is expansive, and the effects of casting the circle is more, your world gets smaller. Your world gets smaller in the circle because you're just more aware of what's happening in it as opposed to what's happening outside it. So therefore, lesser rite of pentagram, prior to something like a spiritual healing or an operation of that type, would be a good idea. It would also be good to do that possibly prior to forms of invocation, evocation, and also the building of servitors and sending them, and also before something like a Lesser Key of Solomon demon ritual, okay? Because it's just a question of your energy is bright, you are in a position of strength. The thing which you're talking to needs to respect you for that, you know what I mean? But within the circle casting itself, as I say, it's more like your world gets smaller. You are just focused on your area. And therefore, it feels more like a thing you would do more meticulously, and more like lots more structured, gentle, prayerful energy, rather than necessarily more aggressive, so shall we call it. So the circle casting would be brilliant for divination because it quietens the mind down. The lesser rite of pentagram, more so for more expressive, more overt, more transmitative activities. Combining the two together could be good. Lesser rite of pentagram first, make sure the energy field is nice and strong, and then go into circle casting after that. So you've got a strong aura built up, you've got some protection in theory, okay, then you do the circle casting, and then you should have a brighter and stronger experience when doing it as opposed to what you'd have done before. So that's what they're really about. Remember, at the end of every single ritual, it is often said you should draw any residual energy back into yourself. I tend to do it with an indrawing of breath because that symbolizes it to me whilst I'm visualizing and feeling the energy coming back into me. Just thought I'd let you know, and speak to you soon. Bye for now.